This is Phoenix, America's fifth largest city, a metropolis that ranks #1 in economic development. But when it comes to modern city planning, Phoenix chose a completely different path. While the world builds walkable cities like Amsterdam and Tokyo, Phoenix went the opposite direction. It has a 1-mile supergrid system, roads stretch 6 to 8 lanes wide. Phoenix's walkability score sits at just 41. Today, 90% of people here depend entirely on cars. So when modern cities are supposed to be walkable and people-focused, why did Phoenix become the opposite of every modern city? And how is this place still so successful? Today, Phoenix has a population of approximately 1.6 million and runs on an annual budget of $3.4 billion. But Phoenix wasn't always the sprawling car city we see today. If we go back about 80 years to 1950, Phoenix had a population of just over 100,000. From the time it became a city in 1868 until then, growth had been slow but steady. But after that, the situation changed rapidly. Over the next few decades, the city's population exploded. Throughout the last half of the century, growth averaged about 4% per year. The main reason? The invention of air conditioning, which made the extreme desert heat much more tolerable. After the 1940s, air conditioning and car culture caused Phoenix's population to skyrocket. Suddenly, this city in the middle of the desert became one of the most desirable places to live in the entire country. Because Phoenix was surrounded mostly by flat land, developers didn't have to compete for small, expensive plots downtown. They could buy cheap land at the edge of the metro area and transform it into new suburbs. By the 1980s, Phoenix had become a model of car-centric sprawl. The entire city was practically designed for cars, and most of the area developed with sparse, low density. This was different from older American cities that developed before the rise of the automobile. But this car-centric sprawl didn't just happen by accident. It was built into the city's foundation from day one. The pattern for Phoenix's growth was set decades ago, locked into a design that still controls how the city functions today. And the biggest impact of this design can be seen on the city's streets. Phoenix's street design is the complete opposite of modern cities. Where modern cities are built with humans in mind, Phoenix's grid system makes it an anti-city. When you look at Phoenix's grid system, you can see it's based on a 1-mile supergrid. This means every major road in Phoenix, like main highways or arterial roads, is built exactly 1 mile apart. If you're standing on one major road, the next major road will be exactly 1 mile away. The roots of this system lie in agriculture. In the beginning, Phoenix was an agricultural area that used old Hohokam canals. This 1-mile layout was very efficient for farming, but when the city grew, that same farm layout became the city plan. In typical cities, blocks are small, around 100 to 200 meters. But in Phoenix, blocks are huge squares measuring 1 mile by 1 mile. That's why it's called a supergrid. The streets here are perfectly straight and run 6 to 8 lanes wide. It's a top-down design that becomes very difficult to change later. Because of these massive 1-mile blocks, if someone needs to cross the road, they have to walk at least half a mile before finding a safe crossing. So Phoenix is a grid city, but it's fundamentally different from older US cities like Chicago or Manhattan. How? Those cities use a fine-grained grid that was designed before cars became the primary mode of transport. In those cities, block sizes are quite small, roughly 200 to 800 feet. This creates frequent intersections that naturally slow traffic and make walking easy. Their grid is predictable, but unlike Phoenix, it's on a human scale. In New York City, you can walk 10 blocks in the same time it takes to walk half a block in Phoenix. If we talk about European cities, they're also the complete opposite of Phoenix. Many European cities developed slowly over centuries when there was no concept of grids or cars. Their layout is organic, following natural terrain and the paths people walked. In many European cities, streets are often narrow, winding, and sometimes change direction without warning. This design was created with defense, trade, and walking in mind. There's no strict separation between residential and commercial areas. You might live above a bakery or next to a pharmacy. This reduces the need for long-distance travel. European cities are centered around public squares and plazas instead of 1-mile intersections. These plazas are the living rooms of the city, where social interaction happens naturally. Phoenix represents an urban sprawl model. Phoenix's population is approximately 1.6 million, spread across a massive area of about 517 square miles. Because of this, population density is quite low, at around 3,025 people per square mile. Low density means the city has to use more land. If San Francisco were developed with Phoenix-like density, San Francisco would become about 6 times larger than its current size. On the opposite end, Amsterdam is the best example of a compact urban core. Amsterdam's population is approximately 800,000, living in just 84.6 square miles. This makes Amsterdam's population density quite high. at around 9,975 people per square mile. Compact development means land and resources are used much more efficiently. If San Francisco adopted Amsterdam-like density, it could fit into just 87 square miles. That number is about 1.8 times San Francisco's current size. Taking the compact model even further, Tokyo is another example. Tokyo's population density is even higher, at around 15,000 people per square kilometer. This shows that the higher the density, the more maximum land use efficiency can be achieved. But Phoenix's low density has a direct impact on infrastructure. Being a sprawling city means very large networks must be built for transportation, utilities, and public services. Building and maintaining all of this comes with massive infrastructure costs. If Phoenix achieved Amsterdam-like density, Phoenix could fit its entire population into just 1/4 of its current area. We've already discussed Phoenix's 1-mile supergrid system, its low density, and sprawl, and how these things make this city different from other modern cities. To understand this even more clearly, look at transportation data, which directly shows how Phoenix's model works at ground level. The biggest problem in Phoenix transportation is extreme car dependency. Here, more than 90% of people depend on cars for their daily commute, and public transit's share is only about 2%. Although there's a public transportation system called Valley Metro, the problem is very few people use it. Only about 10 to 15% of people use transit daily, and most of them are workers who work downtown. But because the city's area is so spread out and density is low, this rail system can't become an effective option, and people have no practical choice other than cars. This means the sprawl and low density we discussed earlier directly make Phoenix a car-only city. Now, compare this to Amsterdam. In Amsterdam, transit share is about 23%. This city, along with its strong cycling culture, also has a well-developed public transport system that significantly reduces car dependency. New York City is one of the few cities in America where transit mode share is about 42%. Its extensive subway and bus network serves millions of people daily, so many people can easily live without cars. And the strongest example is Tokyo. In Tokyo, rail share alone is about 48%, and overall transit share is around 45%. Tokyo's rail network works like the city's central nervous system, a highly integrated system that connects every corner of the city and handles millions of daily trips. Now, here's a shocking comparison. Phoenix's transit share is just 2%, while Tokyo's is over 45%. That's more than a 20-fold difference. Phoenix's design isn't a problem limited to just roads and traffic. It has a direct effect on people's daily lives, especially on whether they can even walk around the city. This is where Phoenix's real walkability picture comes into focus. Walkability means the ease of walking in an area, meaning how easily a person can reach their daily necessities on foot. The 15-minute city concept says that essential places like shops, schools, parks, or doctors should be within a 15-minute walking distance from home. Phoenix's walkability score is 41. This means walking in Phoenix is difficult, footpaths aren't up to good standards, and shops and services are quite far from each other. Even in the United States context, 41 is considered a quite low score because many cities have scores above 60 where people can manage without cars. When you compare Phoenix to other cities, the difference becomes even clearer. Cities like Amsterdam and Tokyo have walkability scores above 90, meaning walking there is very easy. San Francisco's score is about 89, and New York City's is around 88. The world's best walkable cities generally have scores around 90, while Phoenix's score is just 41, showing it's far behind all these cities. Another important thing emerges here. Some cities made the way people live smarter, and some cities made it harder. And this contrast can be most clearly understood from Tokyo and Phoenix's housing models. Tokyo has developed a housing model that has become an inspiration for the world. Here, the concept of pencil houses is used. These are narrow and tall buildings that take up less ground space but build upward. This allows more people to live in 1 square kilometer without crowding. But it's not limited to just buildings. Tokyo's neighborhoods are designed so that there's a shop below your house, school nearby, office within walking distance, and a park around the corner. The result is that people don't need cars at all. They can walk, use bicycles, or use efficient public transport. Now, look at the complete opposite in Phoenix. Here, more than 70% of residential land is reserved only for single-family detached homes. Meaning, in most places, one family has one separate house, a big lawn, and a driveway. This is the typical American dream, but its side effect is that the city spreads out massively. Phoenix and its surrounding areas together are called the Valley of the Sun, which is an area of more than 14,000 square miles. Most of this is low-density suburbs, and the result is that roads, water pipes, electricity lines, and other utilities have to be laid across a very long area because everything is so spread out. Even today in Phoenix, the city's focus remains on accommodating cars. While modern cities are reducing parking and increasing public space, Phoenix is building 10-story parking structures. This clearly shows how dependent the city is on cars. In Phoenix, the average annual cost of owning a car is approximately $12,297. This heavy car infrastructure has another serious side effect: the urban heat island effect. In Phoenix, in many places, ground surface temperature reaches 102 degrees Fahrenheit. The city's large parking lots and wide roads become heat sinks that continue releasing heat even after sunset. Because of this, even at night, temperature often doesn't drop below 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius. The natural cooling process stops, and the risk of people suffering from heat increases. In some areas, the risk is so high that they've been placed in the very high thermal burn risk category. On the other hand, some cities around the world have found solutions to this problem. In Tokyo, cool roofs and trees are planted. Amsterdam includes water bodies in its urban design to control temperature. So the solution is possible. The real question is which direction a city chooses. So that's Phoenix, a city that went the opposite direction while the rest of the world moved toward walkability, density, and public transit. It chose cars, sprawl, and a 1-mile grid instead. If you found this breakdown interesting, hit the like button. And if you want more videos breaking down cities, urban design, and the systems that shape our world, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.